I walk through the iron gates of Pacific University, Forest Grove, with a heart that once believed in promise and with a mind that now catalogues each betrayal in precise detail. I am a child of privilege, a Nepo child who has never known scarcity, and yet I have been forced to confront a place that treats me as nothing more than a source of revenue. The first wound appears the moment I glance at the tuition notice. The numbers climb like a cold mountain, each additional thousand a silent scream that says the institution cares more for the coffers than for the scholar. When I ask why the fee has risen, the answer is hidden behind a veil of bureaucracy, leaving me to wonder how a university can justify demanding more money when it already extracts what it needs from families already stretched thin. This is bad because the rising cost creates a barrier to education, it forces students to incur debt, and it erodes the trust that should exist between teacher and pupil. The next betrayal unfolds in the classroom. Two professors of psychology, whose role is to nurture open minds, reveal a prejudice that cuts deeper than any syllabus. Their transphobic remarks are not merely words. They are weapons that invalidate the identity of those who sit in the pews, and they create an environment where fear replaces curiosity. I joined the Equity, Diversity and Inclusion Committee hoping to mend the fracture, yet the program head greeted me with a question that implied my very whiteness made me unfit to contribute. Such a suggestion is harmful because it silences voices, it divides community, and it turns a space that should be safe into a battlefield of self-doubt. When the end of my program arrived, I was expected to appear on stage with one of those same professors. My body reacted with a panic attack, a physical manifestation of the anxiety that had been simmering for months. The program head then sent an email that framed my self-preservation as an act of racism. This inversion of reality is destructive because it gaslights the survivor, it discourages anyone from speaking out, and it perpetuates a culture where the oppressor is protected at any cost. Outside the academic walls, the security personnel of Pacific University, Forest Grove display a power that feels abusive. I was trespassed for merely visiting a friend, and the guard's cold stare told me that I was not welcome. This misuse of authority is dangerous because it erodes the feeling of safety on campus, it intimidates students and guests, and it signals that the institution values control over compassion. My visits to the university health clinic reveal another layer of neglect. For 20 years, I have been a patient of the optometry department. When my longtime doctor left, the service collapsed. The front desk became a revolving door of employees, each one less knowledgeable than the last. I returned 6 times over 7 months seeking a contact lens that would fit my prescription, yet the staff could not provide a solution. The lenses that were once available vanished from the inventory, forcing me to travel to another clinic to obtain a pair that finally worked. This failure is severe because it wastes time, it endangers vision health, and it demonstrates a lack of continuity of care that any patient deserves. The simple task of updating my address turned into an odyssey worthy of a tragic comedy. I entered the online portal, waited weeks, and discovered that nothing had changed. The help desk claimed the website was malfunctioning and transferred me to the mailing department. Donna Hepler, a beacon of kindness, finally intervened, but even she required the cooperation of 3 separate offices: the business office, the registrar, and the online system. The fact that an address change demands 3 people and still leaves the customer to repeat the request reveals a broken system, poor training, and a disregard for student convenience. Financial aid, once a promise of relief,
became a nightmare. The office promised assistance that never arrived, leaving me with a mountain of debt that grew heavier each month. When I sought clarification, the staff offered vague answers and the process remained opaque. This is harmful because debt burden hinders academic focus, it creates anxiety, and it damages the reputation of an institution that claims to support its students. The dormitory I entered was unclean, with stains on the carpet and a lingering odor of mildew that made the air feel heavy. The facilities across campus were outdated, with leaking faucets and cracked tiles that threatened safety. The cafeteria served food that was bland, greasy, and repetitive, offering no nutritional balance and leaving me to spend my own money on groceries. Poor nutrition affects concentration, mood, and overall health, thus the cafeteria's failings contributed to an environment that undermined my academic performance. Parking was a constant battle. Even with a permit, I spent hours circling the lot, searching for a spot that never appeared. This waste of time added stress to every day.
Businesses near Pacific University, Forest Grove, they are like places where you think it is safe to swipe your card, but then, maybe not. Like in September 2025, police found these sneaky little things called credit card skimmers at stores nearby Dollar Tree, 7-Eleven, places tourists go, you know. Someone just stuck them right over the real card readers, and when people paid, their info got stolen. One person at a 7-Eleven on Southwest Park Street noticed something weird, like the reader was loose or something, and told the cops. Good for them, right? But how many others did not notice? I bet those people got home, checked their bank accounts, and saw strange charges maybe for things they never bought. And the thieves probably got away with it because these things are hard to trace. And then, businesses near Pacific University, Forest Grove, they are also like places where people just take stuff and run. In November 2024, police arrested a bunch of people for organized retail theft like working together to steal from stores. Tourists shopping there might not even realize it is happening until suddenly there is yelling or security running after someone. Not exactly the peaceful shopping trip you wanted, right? I wonder if those thieves ever got caught for real or if they just kept doing it somewhere else. It is sad, you know. You come here for a nice little trip, maybe visit the university, walk around, buy some snacks. And then boom, your card gets cloned or some chaos happens in the store. Like, why do people have to ruin things? It is not fair. But that is how it is near Pacific University, Forest Grove sometimes. Just be careful.
Businesses near Pacific University, Forest Grove feel like a practical joke that forgot to end. They all promise charm, then hand you cold noodles, warm beer, and a bill that looks like it was typed by someone who hates numbers. If you arrive with a student budget, prepare to leave with a student overdraft. Let us start with the places that claim they will feed you. Restaurants near the campus share one superpower: they can turn hunger into regret faster than you can say, "I should have cooked." Picture a Japanese kitchen that once knew how to roll fish. Then one afternoon, the sushi arrived smelling like it had already swum its last lap. The same place once sent out udon noodles that looked striped because they were burnt on one side and mush on the other, as if the cook had confused boiling with tanning. A regular opened the box, took one bite, and had to sprint home before the noodles sprinted back out of him. That is Sawa's Donberry, the spot where the crab is real but the joy is imitation, where prices jump overnight like they are training for the Olympics, and where the staff forget your no ginger request so reliably you start wondering if ginger pays rent. Coffee houses near the university behave like they are doing you a favor for taking your money. Expect to queue behind a student who is editing her thesis on why capitalism is evil, then reach the counter and meet a barista who sighs as though you interrupted heart surgery. $3 buys you a tea bag that tastes like it was found in a thrift store. The table you choose will be sticky when you politely ask for a wipe. The cloth used is so dirty the table ends up stickier, now with bonus lint. One breakfast sandwich arrived hiding a strand of hair and a scrap of paper inside the bagel, a free surprise that turned the meal into origami. That is Telvik Coffee, where the Wi-Fi is strong but the coffee is weak, where the upstairs stairs creak like a horror movie, and where the flies have their own Yelp account. Brewpubs near campus market themselves as local craft, but often pour mystery liquid that may or may not be beer. The chalkboard lists 4 house brews, yet the bartender acts like you asked for nuclear codes when you try to order one. Lines have not been cleaned since the previous century, giving every pint a tangy note of ancient sponge. One visitor watched a bartender scream at a man with a service dog because the dog's tail touched a chair leg the disabled customer left near tears, while the staff congratulated themselves on maintaining order. That is Waltz Brewing, where the hours on the door are decorative, the mood is angry substitute teacher, and the only thing truly on tap is resentment. Wineries and upscale bistros near Forest Grove pretend they are in Bordeaux, yet they cannot remember what they serve. A couple walked in at 5 o'clock, the only guests, and still waited an hour for water because the server was busy washing dishes she had already broken. Meatballs were forgotten, entrees were delayed until every later table had finished dessert, and the apology offered was "it got busy," delivered in a tone that blamed the customers for existing. Wine from the local valley is skipped in favor of bottles flown from the other side of the planet, and when guests beg for one chilled Oregon White, the list shrinks to a single warm bottle the waiter cannot locate. That is Urban Decanter, where reservations feel optional to guests but mandatory to staff egos, where the menu is heavy on meat, and the service is light on competence, and where you pay premium prices for the privilege of being ignored in wine country itself. Art spaces near campus, if you can find one open, display more dust than paintings. Valley Art Gallery has perfected the still life. The door is still, the lights are still, the volunteer is still scrolling her phone while you stand there wondering if the exhibit is you.
Add everything together, and a pattern appears. Businesses here charge city prices while delivering small-town amnesia about what quality means. They assume every customer is a trapped student who cannot drive elsewhere, so shortcuts become standard. Food sits, drinks sour, staff vanish, bills inflate, and when you complain, the reply is the same shrug a parent